Hello, this is Mrs. Schlarman, and today we're going to talk about how to create pinched and pulled little thumb owls. So basically you can see this adorable little guy here in his design. We're going to talk about the different textures, how to create different techniques, and notice how they are hollow on the inside. Working with clay, you have to always make sure that it's not just one big giant lump. And we're going to use our thumbs to create these cute little characters. First thing you're going to do is you're going to take your clay and you're going to basically turn it into a ball or a sphere. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but notice how I kind of just hit it on the sides using that bottom of my hand palm area. Next, if you are right-handed, you want to put it on your left thumb. If you're left-handed, you want to put it on your right thumb. So you're going to put it on your non-dominant hand so you can work it. And I just push my thumb down into it like so, and I kind of squeeze it and I pinch and pull it. And I'm going over here. And then I'm going to start to say, okay, this is going to be the head area. So my head area gets a little bit thinner. Now I don't want them to be too big, so I'm just kind of like move them around. If you see those little cracks there, if you have a couple little cracks and you want to smooth them out before we start working with them, you can take a little of the sponged water. If you get your clay too wet though, it's going to be difficult to work with. So if you see big clumps or any smooth things, you can just smooth them out by just putting your finger on the sponge. Don't put the clay in the sponge, that's too much water. If you get it too wet, it will be difficult to work with. Okay, first thing I'm going to start with is he's right here. I'm going to say, okay, there's an eye, my thumb, there's an eye. I'm going to put it over there. Then I'm going to start with the beak. And you know what? I'm going to take this guy and kind of tilt him down here so he's looking, oh, maybe his tail sticks out too much. Maybe this guy. There we go. You can kind of see his eyes over there. So I'm going to start first by pinching and pulling his little beak out there. You want to be careful. Okay, if you happen to pinch some off, we'll just put it aside and come back and reshape it. So once he's got his cute little nose right there. Next, I'm going to go back. I'm going to put those eyes back in there by just using my thumb. Then I'm going to put his little sides of his head in there. So I'm going to push down his head, kind of pull his little sides, ears. There's his little pinch pulled ears. Pull them right up. Work on those right there. Okay, so you can kind of see his face coming together. Then I'm going to use different tools to create the eyes. You can use the back of a marker to make nice circle eyes. You can use the inside of the skinnier markers to kind of make the eyes. The back of a highlighter works fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and start that one. Pushed it in. Oh, need to put in that a little harder. There's one big eye. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to put in this eye. Push it in. There we go. There's two big eyes. I'm going to take this one and go on the inside of, oh, look at that. He is so cute. I'm going to do this one in the smaller. Oh, look at that eye. Then I'm going to go even more. I'm going to take another one with just a pencil and draw in his little eyes. And using that pattern and circles repeating. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to think about his wings. All right, so I'm going to take it, I'm going to pinch and pull. So this is the pinch and pull method. And I'm pinching and pulling them out. And pinching and pulling. And then here is this cute, adorable little wings. And I could leave them out, or I can change them up. I could take this and cut it and make them kind of just a little bit flying, maybe like that. Maybe I'll do it on this side as well. Or I can take them and like have them kind of sitting and fold them over. I kind of like them folded over. That's kind of, I like that kind of owl look to it. Then I'm going to think about his feathers on his front section. I like to use a skinny marker and putting it in just a little bit like so, a half circle. So it's not a full circle. I'm going to create that feathered pattern. And you'll notice how I do every other and I rotate it. That creates that pattern. You can use lots of different things to create patterns. I could use my pencil and just draw in to create the pattern. That one works great too. Like for example, I could take a fork and I can make my feathers kind of have these marks over on this side. I can make them have the same ones over here to be symmetrical and match. On the back, I kind of want, oh, maybe I need to take and smooth out a little bit, but I kind of want to have a tail. Just a little tail feathers. Okay, he's getting the tail feathers. And it's kind of hard to work on the back when it's on my finger here. So I might want to take them off of my thumb, okay, carefully. You don't want to squish them. Don't squeeze them too tight to where he squishes. But I do want him to be able to stand up. So I'm going to make sure that I kind of give it and if you need help, I'll help you with the standing part. We're just going to make sure that he can stand up. And there he is, he's standing up. This one's kind of tall. Now I want to work on his back a little bit here. So here's his back. You can see he's kind of a little bumpy on the back. So I just take a little bit of water. You don't want a whole bunch. I just want my finger just to smooth out any of those cracks that might be there. And then I need to think about a texture or a pattern for the back of the owl. I use the marker kind of lid for this part. On the back side here, I want to just kind of get rid of that crink right there. There we go. I'm going to maybe just use a pencil and I am going to draw into it and make these little marks. Maybe some will be longer than others and maybe they'll match. I'm just going to kind of draw into it. And there's my little texture for his back. Maybe on his little tail here, I'll come in and put a little texture. Maybe over here I want to add in more texture coming around. I can do that. I can come in and do some drawings to him. Okay. Next, I think he stands, his cracks are smooth. He looks really adorable and just super cute. It is time to stop and clean up. So before I do that, you're going to carry your owl over to me and I am going to write your name into it. Now you have to make sure you spell it so I can spell your name correctly. So tell me how to spell your name. Then I'm going to put the year in as well. We'll set it up to dry and then I'll fire it. Once it's fired, we'll come back. It'll be white and we will paint it however we want. Fire again and then glaze them. So these are our adorable clay thumb built pinch and pull technique.